Hello there, how are you doing? Although the world's population continues to grow, the global fertility rate has fallen to 2.3 children per woman according to the United Nations Population Fund. Of course, no woman has 2.3 children. For instance, in the United States, the number is currently 1.8 births per woman, which is an increase from 2019, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Keep in mind that the world's highest fertility rate in 2020 is Nigeria, with 6.79 births per woman, while the world's lowest fertility rate goes to the Vatican, of course, with an average of 0 children per woman, which is not a surprise. In 2019, the world birth rate was 18.2 per thousand, while the world death rate was 7.5 per thousand, according to macrotrends.com. From these numbers, one can easily deduct that the world's population is increasing every year. But suppose for a moment that our favorite alien friends, those guys we all heard an anecdote from, those guys who abducted humans some time ago, imagine they decide this time to make us completely infertile, perhaps by injecting into our atmosphere some sterilizing molecule. Anything is possible with science, you know. Everything or almost everything that would make infertile any human who would breathe the molecule, and of course that molecule would disappear after 50 years, which is the equivalent of half a century. And the tricky part is that humans don't know. No one could escape this, and the birth rate would drop dramatically since it would be 0 births per year. It's an unthinkable scenario, but at the same time that's the reason why you're watching this YouTube channel. In any case, what will be the effects on our society? Could humanity itself recover after such an ordeal? Let's try to answer these questions in this little movie we've put together for you. The beginning of times. A few days pass and no one realizes anything. Women continue to give birth in normal conditions. It must be said that our infertility molecule does not abort pregnancies, but it is only after a few weeks that ultrasound technicians and gynecologists begin to realize that their attendance begins to decrease significantly. In fact, no patients schedule new appointments for those services. As time goes on, the same trend is observed all over the world. At this level, it is intriguing, not yet alarming, and we talk about it on the news as curiosity that would only be ephemeral. After a few months, the strange phenomenon of infertility begins to become clearly disturbing. We realize that it has become global, and that it concerns both men and women. So we will see in the long run, births might stop completely and so will the population growth. Governments are severely restricting access to voluntary interruption of pregnancy. At a nation summit held among the world's economically advanced countries, an international research group is put in place to look upon the current situation. Researchers are just going to be looking at the phenomenon that is very real and that they have already seen years ago. Male infertility due to low sperm production is something that has been observed many years ago in developed countries. In fact, 20 to 30% of men suffer from this abnormality and is related to some medical, environmental, health, and lifestyle causes according to Mayo Clinic. This is totally real, and some other causes put forward are exposure to radioactive waves or pesticides. Yet our group of hypothetical scientists failed to make this connection with this global infertility. 1 year after the first troubles after infants' births, all jobs related to child care go away. Midwives are clearly the first to be affected because now it's a no-brainer for the whole world. Generational renewals have stopped, but cautiously scientists still took care of a wide range of stem cells from the last born throughout the development in their mother's womb. You never know if it was the last time. During these exceptional conditions, the boundary of bioethics and morals of medicine are pushed to their limits to speed up research on human cloning and other related sciences. A massive prevention campaign is then launched by governments around the world to insist on maintaining prophylactic measures, even though people are infertile and women can no longer get pregnant. But yet AIDS and other STDs continue to exist. 10 years later, many sectors are in crisis, mainly in preschool, kindergarten, and elementary school. Teachers are being laid off as there is no business for them. In the same token, toys, accessories, and baby trinkets that are no longer produced become collection items, and in the best scenarios they end up in museums. The US average death rate is known to be 731 deaths per 100,000 people, which correspond to the over 2.4 million deaths in average every year. Therefore, the US population has fallen to about 306.6 million, or about the number of people in the US in early 2008 according to the US Census Bureau. After 20 years, the last students have just finished high school. No more high school graduations due to the lack of candidates. The last generation of humans are going to work or go to college or community college. Universities, on the other hand, still have bright days ahead of them. However, young people who just got into working have no clue when they will be able to stop working because the pension system, unsurprisingly, has been seriously reformed. There are no longer enough young people to pay for retirement of elderly people. They are obliged to working their way after retirement age up to about 70 or even 80 years. Meanwhile, countries like Japan have managed to create robots strong enough to make up for the lack of a fairly young and robust skilled workforce. It has therefore become relatively common to see humanoid robots in streets. In small towns, countryside, and villages, the absence of new generations is sorely felt, and many small cities disappear from the map, and we see an increase in number of senior communities across the country. Human interaction has evolved and family lifestyle has drastically changed. Without children, it is easier to dedicate yourself to your professional career and carry out projects that require time. Leisure, on the other hand, is adapting and developing more than ever. For couples without children, time and attention are more dedicated to the partner than ever before. Don't need to get back home as early as possible after work to take care of the children's homework or get the dinner ready. People go out a lot to try and drown their sorrow away from home and to stay above the gloomy atmosphere that hangs on their head as the sword of Damocles. For many humans at 25 or 30 years of age, having a family is a natural and normal desire. Another phenomenon that is also visible is the church adhesion is gone, as humanity believes that they've been cursed, and therefore church's seed can't find a fertile ground anymore as it used to be, even though there's a significant number of people that think we are being tested, and that we should show resilience, obedience, and faith. After 40 years, it's been a long time since the last generation of humans were born. In other words, there is no longer a single person on Earth who is under 40. Entertainment places and bars are frequented by people in their 50s and up. Occupations requiring great physical strength or endurance have undergone radical changes, and when they are not removed, they are adapted for robots or other artificial intelligence machines. But these new technologies are so expensive and are only available in developed countries. Unfortunately, in developing countries where life expectancy is quite low, humanitarian aid is more and more difficult to get there. By the 50th year, the population is almost half and has gone back to the number of inhabitants it was in the 1900s. But while humanity was now resigned to the idea of an imminent disappearance, an incredible discovery has been found. A woman is reportedly several months pregnant, but no one pays attention to that information because such fake news has become commonplace. Astonishingly, cases of late pregnancy are multiplying. The new generation will not be numerous. 50-year gaps will separate them from their elders, and they will live in a world where humans will be just over 4 billion. But what is going to happen to this inexperienced new generation of humans? Because when these children reach their majority, they will have the responsibility of all humanity on their backs, and they may not have any elder person around to guide them. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more upcoming videos.